So back in early January, a credible Discord leak suggested that Microsoft was gonna pull a Sega. They were gonna take all their console exclusives and put them on the other consoles. You were gonna have Halo on the PlayStation, Gears of War on the Game Boy Advanced. This leak also claimed that Microsoft, rather than making a new game console, was simply going to license the Xbox brand to other companies. So you got the Lenovo Xbox, the Dell Xbox. They were going to take a page from the 3DO and Steam Machine playbooks because those worked out so well. While normally a leak like this would be forgotten, the person managed to accurately predict the upcoming Xbox Developer Direct, which gave it a lot more credibility. Over the course of the next few weeks, some people started data mining Hi-Fi Rush and found clues suggesting that the game was actually coming to PlayStation and Nintendo. Pretty soon, it seemed like every credible leaker under the sun was reporting that some new Xbox exclusive was being planned for PlayStation. Job listings for an upcoming Halo game suggested the title was coming to all platforms. It really wasn't too long before rumors popped up saying Game Pass was unsustainable. Upcoming games like Call of Duty Black Ops Gulf War ain't coming to Game Pass because Microsoft needs to make its money back as quickly as possible. Microsoft is going to kill the Xbox brand and call it Microsoft Gaming. Microsoft leaving consoles forever. And the hysteria just kept growing out of control. Hardcore Xbox fanboys who had large followings consisting of other hardcore Xbox fanboys were now publicly denouncing the brand, selling their boxes, and proclaiming their newfound love for the PlayStation 5. Microsoft was forced to make a statement. It did not help anything. They said they would give a business update within the next week, and this got people a lot more scared because what's this business update? What if there's nothing going on, why not just say so? Why not just say all of this is a bunch of bullshit? It's true, isn't it? Xbox is dead. It's the end of the console war, the end of Xbox, the end of everything. But it wasn't. It was not, I guess. Okay, so here's what's going on. Here's what they actually announced. As of right now, this moment, the day in time I am recording this, only 4 Xbox console exclusives are coming to PlayStation and Nintendo. While it was not confirmed which games these might be, it is definitely Hi-Fi Rush, Pentiment, and Sea of Thieves, and the 4th is probably Grounded. Xbox is not leaving the console business. In fact, new hardware will be discussed later this year, and although this won't be an Xbox Series X Pro, it's probably just the stuff we saw from the FTC leaks, it is something. Not only that, there is next generation hardware being planned, and according to Microsoft, it will be the largest leap in console generation history. Game Pass will continue to exist. Activision games will come to Game Pass, starting with Diablo 4 in late March, and every new Activision Bethesda Xbox game will be on Game Pass, contrary to those rumors. Xbox Game Pass is not being renamed, and it's not coming to PlayStation or Nintendo. The business event itself, not very eventful. But this wasn't all that was said. There were other interviews, other statements made after all of this, and it started to paint a slightly different picture for the future of Xbox than was presented during that business event. It's not just 4 games. It's not just 4 games. Microsoft didn't just put the entire Xbox community into a frenzy over the potential of a few million sales from Sea of Thieves and Pentiment. This is just a test. If these games do well, more games will come to PlayStation and Nintendo. That's not me speculating. That is what Phil himself said. And nothing is off the table. Any game could come to PlayStation. Within 5 to 10 years, Phil expects console exclusives to mostly disappear. That's an interesting thing to say. Also during the podcast, new Xbox Game Pass subscription numbers were flaunted as the company tried to brag about growth, but they failed to mention that these numbers included the Xbox Live Gold subscribers who were automatically transferred to Xbox Game Pass Core subscribers after that service ended. This means that Game Pass user numbers are not growing nearly as fast as Microsoft seems to be implying. Today, I'm going to go over some of this because there's actually a lot here. There's a lot to unpack here. For today's video specifically, I want to focus on exclusives. I'll talk about the hardware and other stuff some other day. So given all this, I think it's pretty obvious that eventually many or most Xbox games will probably end up on the PlayStation, right? When Phil Spencer says within 5 to 10 years console exclusives won't exist, he's talking about Microsoft's long-term strategy. This might sound like Microsoft coping with low Xbox sales, and to some degree it kinda is. But don't forget that Sony has been leaning in the same direction for a while, and recent quotes from that company has made it seem like maybe multi-platform is the future. Maybe console sales are stagnant and growth isn't being grown. Money needs to be made, and the only way to do that is to put everything on everything. Now, I don't genuinely expect that by like 2030, every single Xbox game is on PlayStation day one and vice versa. But with that said, I wouldn't be surprised if the next Halo ends up on the PlayStation 6. Now, I know some feel like this entire conversation about exclusives is petty and silly and stupid and weird, and to some degree, I agree. I don't really care that much about exclusives. I have a PlayStation, I have an Xbox, I have the Nintendo, I have the PC, but I do get why people would be upset with Microsoft going multi-platform. And it's not just because they're console fanboys, you know? Not just the fanboys. If you bought an Xbox because you wanted to play these exclusives, if that is the main reason you bought an Xbox, and now those exclusives are available on other platforms that has their own exclusives, suddenly your Xbox has lost a lot of its value. And it kind of comes off as Microsoft trading in those loyal fans who have spent years with the Xbox ecosystem. Microsoft's just saying, hey, sorry, you helped us. You helped us over the past few decades, but you guys aren't making us enough money anymore. So we're gonna go over there to the PlayStation guys. I get why people are concerned. If a PlayStation 6 launches and it has all the PlayStation exclusives and the Xbox exclusives, and the new Xbox only has the Xbox exclusives, most people are gonna go to the PlayStation, right? Well, yeah, but most people would have probably gone to the PlayStation anyway. Let's flip the script here. You know, imagine if somehow the PlayStation 6 was launching and it only had PlayStation exclusives, and the next Xbox had both the PlayStation games and the Xbox games. I'm sure there would be quite a few people who have PlayStations that would move over to Xbox, but there would be a lot more that wouldn't. We seem to treat exclusives on consoles like they have some magical powers, because in the past they did. 2 decades ago, Halo could single-handedly keep the Xbox alive. Many credit Final Fantasy VII for shifting the console war in Sony's favor. Maybe. And Nintendo is only around because exclusives. But when we start talking about Xbox and PlayStation exclusives specifically, nowadays, they aren't as impactful as I think a lot of people think. Only 1 out of like every 5 PlayStation 5 users actually buy the new big PlayStation exclusive at best. So 4 out of the 5 PlayStation users don't care about the new God of War or the new Spidey-Man or the new Spider War. Their attachment to PlayStation is more about the ecosystem, the digital libraries they've amassed over the past few decades, the trophies, the user interface, I don't know. While Microsoft was really wishy-washy about which games were coming to PlayStation, which games weren't, they were not wishy-washy about the fact that Game Pass is staying on Xbox. And I think going forward, this is the Xbox exclusive, and I'm fine with that. The only reason I have an Xbox is because of Game Pass. That seems like that's going to be the big selling point of this hardware going forward. I'm not all that concerned about the exclusive issue. Already, Xbox exclusives were about the most accessible in the industry. If you have a phone, a certain smart TV, a web browser, you could stream these games through the cloud. If you had a PC, you could play these games. Day one. Sales for the Xbox weren't doing too well. I get that. And I think Microsoft is trying a new strategy that probably will make a lot more money in the long term. Or maybe this is a terrible plan and Xbox is dead.